Hey! First of all, I need to apologize because I did not stream on schedule on this past Monday. And I actually, in full transparency, completely forgot to do a live stream for this channel. It's been a bit of a topsy-turvy week, so I'm going to share with you that. And it's been all great things. You know, I really feel like I have come out of a lot of funky emotions. I feel like for a while there were a lot of videos where I was not feeling great. And I would kind of come on this channel to share my feelings, sometimes to vent. And it was like a little therapeutic thing. And today, or recently I should say, I've just been wanting to come on this channel and share lots of cool things, good things. So yeah, I hope you accept my apology. I am apologizing purely because consistency is important to me, and it's something that I'm really striving to have this year in 2018. But every once in a while, you either forget to do something or it's harder to do something, and we're human, you know. And speaking of which, I had an experience on Valentine's Day, the day after Valentine's Day. I got a parking ticket, and my first reaction, instead of being angry or frustrated with myself or kicking myself, I actually was really calm about it, and it showed how far I've come and how much things are paying off for me in terms of all the personal development and work that I've been doing. Because in the past, I would have been really upset about it. And it was a $73 parking ticket simply because I didn't read the sign. And the reason that I reacted in the way I did is because I was forgiving towards myself. I had made a mistake. I forgot to read the parking sign, you know? I wasn't paying attention. My mind was on other things. And similarly, that happened the other day, this past Monday, where I think I realized I didn't record a video. I missed my recording upload time like a few hours after it, like probably around like 7 p.m. on Monday. And I can't remember what went through my head at that point, but I decided not to do the live video at that point for whatever reason, because I was so exhausted. And I realized that I'd really forgotten to do something because I was tired, because my mind was on a lot of other things. So let me share with you some of those things. Well, since in the past like week and a half, it's almost been actually 2 weeks since I did a video, I traveled. So last weekend I went to Central Coast of California for the Central Coast Veg Fest. It was my first time there, and it was fantastic. I went to San Luis Obispo, and you can actually see some videos on the main Eco Vegan Gal YouTube channel and the Eco Vegan Gal Facebook page. I did some live videos that Friday, so just over 2 weeks, or just over a week ago, and it's really fun because I was with my friend Nicole, and we were showing off the house that we were staying in, and it just really encapsulates all of the great feelings that we had while there. And it was amazing. It well exceeded my expectations. And had I remembered to record a live video this past Monday, that video probably would have been all about that trip. I spoke at a brand new Veg Fest. This is the first year. It was very small, although they actually had a bigger turnout than they thought they were going to. There was about 3,000 people there. And I spoke to a room of probably 50 people, I think, and did a brand new talk for me about communication. And that's something that I'm really focused on this year. So in addition to focusing on consistency, I'm very focused on becoming a great communicator and helping you become a great communicator. That's the reason why I'm putting a lot of effort into Eco Vegan Pal this year. So if you haven't joined yet, there's a link in the description if you want to check it out. I would love to have you in there. It's my online membership community. And we have book clubs and movie clubs and accountability programs and all sorts of cool things. I'm always trying to add new things on, and I hope to add some new features in the next month or two after I work with some brands at the Natural Products Expo. So that was just going to the Central Coast was fantastic. We saw elephant seals. We had some great vegan food. We met some new vegan people. And I was just grateful to kind of take a trip. I love taking road trips. I cherish them so much. And that also brings me to some exciting news that I am not, I'm going to preface this with being transparent that I have a little fear about sharing this with you. And I think it's actually really important for me to push through that fear and share it anyways, because I think it's another theme for me this year is breaking through blocks and limiting beliefs. So I think this is the first time I've said this publicly, so it's nerve-wracking. It's going to probably sound silly, but I decided to get a Tesla, the Model 3 specifically, which is their newest car. And it's been a dream of mine for years, ever since I heard that they were going to make this car, because it's their more affordable model. So Tesla's, this is their fourth model. They had the Roadster, which was the original version. I think that one came out in like 2009. And that was super hard to get. It was kind of this big experiment. It was one of the first electric cars out there, and it was super expensive. So it was just kind of like this, felt like this unreachable thing that only like super wealthy people could get. And then they came out with the Model S, which is the one you probably have seen if you've ever seen a Tesla. It's the sedan. It's pretty large. And again, that just felt kind of like this car that you can only get if you were wealthy. And that car, I think, actually starts at around 60 grand, which is pricey. But I think the average perception of that car is like 100 grand or something like that. So it's not a cheap car, but it's one of the most eco-friendly cars. And they actually didn't make a vegan version of it for a while. It was hard to make it vegan, the interior. Then they came out with the Model X, which is the kind of like SUV version. It's really cool because it's got the doors open up like this, like wings. So cool. I love that car. If I was a parent of multiple kids, I'd probably want that car for my family. I have friends that have that car for their families, and it's awesome. But that car is, I think, over 100 grand or something. And when I heard that they were going to come out with a car that started at 35 grand, I was like, wow, like, that's awesome. I would love to have a Tesla. But that, I think they made that announcement 3 or 4 years ago, and it just felt so far away. So I actually got my first electric car a little over 3 years ago. I got the Fiat 500e, and I leased it. And it was my experiment with electric cars. I was so excited to get that car, and my lease is up next week. I think next week, March 5th. So yeah, it's like next Monday. Crazy how time went by. Like, honestly, I can't believe over 3 years have gone by with that car. It's been a great car. It's cute. It's really affordable. It's just been really wonderful. But the big drawback of that car is that A, it's really small. So if I ever drive with other people, it's not great. B, it's doesn't have a long range. I can only go about 80 miles per charge. And so I haven't been able to do any big road trips on my own. I've always had to rent a car, and all the cars that I rent typically are gas cars, so I'm buying gas for that. And I've done one road trip with it to Palm Springs, and I had to stop and find a charging station halfway, and it was a big pain in the butt because it takes so much time. And so it's been challenging, but it's been a really great car overall. Well, since my lease is up, I put a lot of thought into what my next car would be. And I really wasn't planning on getting the Tesla because they are just now starting to come out. I think the first one came out like late last year, 2017. And I didn't put down a reservation because I don't know, I didn't think it was time for me to get the Tesla. But something shifted in me over the past few months. Long story short, I decided that that's really the best car for me. And the reason I hesitated to share that is because I think that there's just a lot of, well, for me at least, and that's why it's hard to share these things, especially when it comes to money, is because A, there's a part of me that doesn't want people to think that I'm like, I don't know, it sounds so weird coming out, but I guess it's bringing up my limiting beliefs. Like, I'm afraid of people judging me for that decision, right? I really am. And I think maybe this is such a great opportunity for me to release limiting beliefs around money. Because until you face something, it will often become buried or stay buried. So since my commitment to releasing limiting money beliefs this year is so strong, what better way than to work through them is to do something that's scary. It's not an inexpensive car, and I have to like do some research, but it looks like I'm gonna get one of the more expensive models of this car for a variety of reasons, which I'll disclose, once I make my decision. But I spent so much time thinking about how I wanted to spend my money. And I've been thinking about this for like a month and a half, 2 months, very strongly, doing research, just really reflecting on my emotions around it, talking to other people. It's going to be a financial stretch for me, but as I said, I think that's going to be really, really good for me. It is a big decision for me right now in my life, but I think that when you stretch yourself in any way, whether it's financially, whether it's physically, and all of these different ways we can literally and figuratively stretch ourselves, it allows us to grow. It allows us to reach new levels. And I'm so committed to reaching new levels for myself, for my career, for my personal life, for my finances, for my emotions, like all these different aspects of me. And were I to choose, there's a lot of other electric cars that I could choose. I don't actually like any of the others, so it would be settling, and I don't want to settle in my life. Also, it would be comfortable, right? It would be comfortable for me to get another Fiat 500e. It'd be comfortable for me to maybe consider some of the other ones that are out there that are similar prices. But the Tesla is, to me, the car that I deeply desire, the car that my values are in most alignment with, which is super important to me with my purchases, and it's taking me out of my comfort zone. I'm going to have to work harder in order to pay my monthly payments of that car, for sure. But I find personally that if I stretch myself and reach for big goals that have some sort of consequence attached to them, then I do better. I am one of those people, currently at least, where if I don't have a deadline, if I don't have a reason to do something, I probably won't do it. I'm very, very connected to purpose. I'm connected to consequence. So if I know that I'm going to get in trouble or I'm going to lose something, if I don't do something, then I'm much more motivated to do it. So I think this is really going to be good for me. I am so thrilled. And the reason I'm bringing that up today is because I spent a big part of my day working on this. So since I didn't have a reservation for the Tesla, I had to reach out to some close friends to see if they'd be able to pass their reservation on to me. And when I first thought of this, I thought that was either impossible or very hard to do. So one huge lesson I've learned lately, especially in the past month, for a variety of different ways, is that if we think something's impossible, it is impossible. Hold on, I'm getting some weird, that was strange. If we think something is impossible, then we probably will never try it to see if it is possible. So to put a pause on the Tesla story for a second, another example that I want to share is that I'm producing an event in less than 2 weeks that I'm so excited about. It is this vegan networking event at the Natural Products Expo. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I thought it was going to be really hard. And there was a period of time where I gave up on it in the past year. I thought I really wanted to do this event this year. And last year I thought that I needed a ton of time to plan it, a ton of money, a ton of resources. I got very overwhelmed and I decided not to pursue it. So I gave up. And then this past January, or maybe even December, my passion for it came back up. I feel like I might have talked about this in another video, so I'll try to make this as different from past talks as I possibly can. But I decided in December or January that I wanted to give it another try. I really wanted to do this event, but it still felt really challenging, and I still had a lot of doubts about whether or not I could actually do this. However, I decided to put some effort into it just in case it could happen. So I put my feelers out, and I reached out to this guy that wanted to partner with me on some other things. And I said, hey, one thing that I'd really love to do is to put on this event on March 9th. I'd already picked the date. Do you think that you would be willing to help me do this? And he said, sure. So one barrier was down because I had a teammate. I had somebody to help me, which I felt was super important. And I asked, would you be willing to put some money towards this? He said, sure. So next obstacle is crossed. I had somebody to help me with the funding. And then I said, would you be willing to help me plan this and do some of the research involved, make some phone calls? He said, sure. So suddenly what felt like it was going to be really hard and maybe not possible started to feel possible. However, this guy has some limiting beliefs, or depending on how you look at it, maybe he's super realistic. He was concerned that we wouldn't be able to make it happen because we had such a short amount of time. I was not concerned about that because I've planned events before in 2 weeks and pulled it off. So I said, I believe in this. I think we can do it. We've got a month to go. Let's give it our best shot and not be attached to the outcome. And the guy said, okay. So for the past few weeks, we've been working together to put this event on. Long story short, we decided in order to help fund it, because it's going to cost us a few $1,000s to put this event on, he would put some money in, and we would also charge a admission ticket because we wanted some funding for this event, and we wanted to make sure that people would actually come to it. This is a new thing. We didn't want people to say yes to something and not show up. We wanted our best chance at success. So I created a sales page for it, which is really fun for me because I love designing websites, and put it out there. I did a survey before I even started selling tickets and asked people if they wanted to come. And very quickly, over 30 people said that they would come to an event and they would pay $20 for it. So I said, great, $20 it is. So I put up the sales page, created everything, and started selling it less than 2 weeks ago. And I'm really excited to say that as of today, let me check what the current count is on this. We have over 60 people that have bought tickets, and the tickets just went up in price today. So now people are paying $25 to come to this event. So because we have over 60 people coming up, we have made over $1,000 net, which now we can put into this event. It's a not-for-profit event, and so all the money is going into putting this on. And it's just a great example of when you really put your mind to something, you want it badly enough, you can make it happen despite all odds. I didn't think that we could find a hotel last minute. Turns out one of the hotels I wanted to host it at is available. Turns out that hotel is really affordable. So it was less expensive than it was going to be. Everything is possible. It was easy to do. So all of the obstacles were in my head about this, right? So I've sold 66 tickets so far. I mean, I'm amazed. I'm truly amazed. My goal is to get 150 people there. So where am I? This is cool. I'm using Eventbrite, and it's got a little percentage. So we're like, well, it's a little skewed, but yeah, we're really on our way there. We're like 50% there almost. Amazing. And the event is just about 2 weeks away. And again, it shows that people want these things. It's proof of concept. I cannot wait. I'm not going to make any money off of this event, but I've poured hours and hours of my time into it already, and will continue to pour more time into it because I'm so excited and so grateful that this is happening. So that's an example of just doing something despite all odds. Last year, I planned my friend Jason's birthday party in 2 weeks. I put on a huge birthday party. I dedicated 2 weeks. It took every single day for 14 days to put on this event, and I pulled it off in huge ways. And that showed me, you can do great things in short amount of times. Do you know that party didn't cost me anything? I think, okay, maybe it cost like $5 or $10 to put on this huge party. I got everything donated. I surprised Jason despite all odds. He was incredibly surprised of this party. I mean, that party was showing me what is possible. That gave me the confidence to put on this other party. So the other thing I'm learning is that when you think something is challenging or impossible, give it a try and take the baby steps, because sometimes reaching a smaller level than you want to will help you build the confidence to go to the next level and reach the level that you really want to get to, right? So coming back to the Tesla, it's a similar experience and a meaningful thing for me. This is not just about a car. This is about the whole experience of it, is that finding the confidence in myself to get to that next financial level, right? Just to make something impossible. So, people were like, oh, well, you're not going to get that car for a while because you don't have a reservation. I reached out to 3 different people. And in the past few days, I've had 3 different conversations with people. And this is the other great story, if you've ever heard like authors share how they've been rejected by publishers and maybe they could have given up after all these rejections, but they kept going and finally found somebody that said yes to them. There's so many stories, not just authors, but all sorts of stories about keep going even when people say no. So the first person I reached out to, it's been very complicated, and I thought that she was my best bet to get this reservation. Long story short, I decided to move on from that person and ask somebody else. But the second person I asked about the Tesla reservation, there was also some complexities there. So this morning, I decided to ask a third person. And I thought this person was a bit of a long shot. Through just a few text exchanges, this person said, sure thing, happy to give you my reservation. Here's all the information. Let me know how I can help. So what felt impossible to some people, what felt challenging to me at times, eventually led itself to be much easier than I ever thought possible. And then after I had this conversation with this guy, I decided that I wanted to go to the Tesla showroom, which is their version of a dealership in Los Angeles, and learn more about the car and make sure it was the right decision. And I drove. The Model 3 is so new that you barely see them on the road. Every once in a while I'll see one, but it's just brand new, right? And you'll see a ton of Model S's. The Model 3 kind of looks like that. So I'm always looking around to see if I can find a Model 3, and I rarely ever see one. I go to the Tesla showroom and I park in this big public parking lot. And what do I see? I see a Model 3 there, and not just any Model 3, I see it in the exact color that I want. And there's a parking space really close to that, so I parked right by the Model 3 and got to just go look at it and see what this car was like in person. I've only seen the Model 3 twice up close at a car show and at another showroom. And I've seen it on the road driving past me, but I've never seen it in the color that I want, which is blue. And so I was like, this is a great sign. And I went to the showroom, and they didn't even have the Model 3 there because they're so rare right now. And they were surprised when I told them there was one in the parking lot. So it's, to me, like looking for signs to help you point in the right direction, to help you make up your mind when things are the right decision. And I think also life just starts to unfold in all sorts of amazing ways when you really want something and when something's your destiny. That's the other thing that's been interesting about the Tesla, is that I'm not attached to the outcome. I'm open to having to get another car temporarily or something. I don't know what's going to happen. Until I actually get the car, I don't know what the outcome's going to be, right? There's a lot of variables involved, so not being attached to the outcome. But I'm also a big believer in the universe, so I have just put it up to fate to help me figure out what's going to happen with this. And I could share so many examples of how it just feels like everything is lining up in that way. I share these things with you guys because I want you to feel inspired and believe in these same things, because it's really easy to get down on yourself. It's easy to say things that are impossible or challenging. It's easy for us to stay in our comfort zones. But if you decide to dream big and at least attempt to do the impossible, so many incredible things can happen. It's really true, and I keep seeing that over and over again. My business partner on this event that I was talking about earlier has been really skeptical. He was afraid that we would get like 30 people at this event. And when I texted him last night to tell him that 60 people have RSVP'd and we've made over $1,000, he was so impressed. And now we're up to 66, and I feel so confident that we're going to get 250 in the next couple weeks. And I am so grateful that I get to put on an event that I know people need. When I see the responses to this and the people that have signed up to come to this event, I know that I have made a good decision. It would have been a disservice not to do this. And I don't say that out of ego. I say that out of knowing that when you believe in yourselves, you're also helping other people, right? Maybe the Tesla isn't helping anybody, except I guess in a way it could be, right? There's a lot of great things about Tesla as a company that I believe in, and maybe I'm helping somebody with the jobs, the people that are making the cars, or maybe I'm helping pave the road, well, not literally, but in some ways the road metaphor works, because I'm an early adopter in a lot of ways, whether it's veganism, technology, cars, all of these things, right? When I believe in something, I want to get on board really fast, and a lot of people aren't ready to take those risks. I think with companies like Tesla, when you are investing in that company, you're showing that this is important to the world. I mean, Tesla's was created to be one of the most eco-friendly, if not the most eco-friendly cars out there, right? And I want to be part of that revolution. Many years ago, people thought that electric cars were just a fad or just a dying technology that would never ever actually work. And for me, being part of something innovative like that is important, because I get to help spread the word about that. I can't tell you how many people I've inspired to get electric cars just because I had an electric car or have one. You know, when I told people that you could get an electric car for less than $200 a month, they were amazed. When I told people how easy it is to have an electric car, like, I've opened up a lot of minds. And so for me, I'm committed. I don't ever want to go back to a gas car unless for some reason I have to. Like, I want the most eco-friendly option out there possible. And the technology might not be perfect at this point, but just like anything else, we have to work through the kinks in order to get to the destination, right? So to me, being part of that innovation is a really great way to contribute to change. And I just want to say hi to Yadi, who's here, to TM Motley, to T. Lee Jones. Thank you guys so much for joining the chat. I appreciate Yadi's encouragement, and everybody else's. Oh, and look, wow, Vi, you're getting one too? That's awesome. Well, I'm sorry to hear that your reservation's now saying early 2019. My workaround is that all the people that I'm asking for the reservation are current Tesla owners. So I have to actually go look tonight, but it looks like I might be able to get the car as early as 2 months from now. So I don't know if there's a way for you to maybe do something like that, but if there isn't, at least I can tell you about the car and share my experiences with you, because I'm going to learn so much through this process. There's a lot of unknowns. So I'll keep you posted on it and how everything goes. There is an advantage of waiting. The car is more expensive if you get it now versus in 6 months to a year. Honestly, I probably would wait if my car lease wasn't up. But the reason that I'm probably going to get it in the next few months and spend the extra money is because I it doesn't make sense for me to get another car in the meantime, unless I could get like borrow a car. I don't know. I've thought about all these logistics, so it's a bit awkward timing wise. However, I think that the fully loaded Tesla probably would be something I would want anyway. So again, I'm just gonna have to make it work financially somehow, and I'll let you know if it's worth all the bells and whistles. And yes, exactly, the road trip. So for me, as I said earlier in this video, road trips are one of my favorite things to do ever. And I actually have something that I'm hoping to do this year to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Eco Vegan Gal. Eco Vegan Gal turns 10 this October, and that's a milestone I've been waiting for a very, very long time. For 10 years, right? But like, once I realized that Eco Vegan Gal was going to be my main career, I got so excited about the idea of doing this for 10 years, and I can't even believe that it's been that long. So I want to do something really special to celebrate, and it will involve live events. So I'll be, working on a bunch of live events this year, all across the country, maybe even the world. And part of my dream is to have the Tesla and drive it around the country. So years ago, Elon Musk drove, I think it was the Model S, the sedan, the first sedan. He did an experiment to prove that electric cars could go really far, because the Tesla, if you guys don't know, has one of the highest ranges of any electric cars, which is really one of the major reasons I want one, aside from the ethical sides of the business. The range is really important. So one of the cool things about the Model 3, if you get it, you have the option, if you get it right now, to have the long range battery. It can go, I think, up to 310 miles in one charge. That's huge. That's super far. My car right now is 80 miles. So that's over 3 times what my car gets. And I want the longer range so that I can do these road trips. I don't not only want to go to San Francisco and San Diego, but I would love to go cross country. I would love to pull an Elon Musk and find places to charge across the whole country so that I can do events and come see people everywhere. And I would love to see some of you guys. So I know Vi lives in Los Angeles, and right, you still live in LA. And I'll be doing events out here. In fact, if you want to come to one of my events in Anaheim, I have 2 events on March 9th. So in addition to the paid event that I was talking about earlier, I have a free event called the Vegan Meetup. Over 1,200 people have RSVP'd for this event. I'm a bit speechless, and yeah, every time I say that, I'm blown away. I'm checking right now to see what the tally is, but it did cross 1,200 yesterday. I was, when it got to like 700, I was amazed, and then when they got to 1,000, I was like, I can't even believe this. And it's about 2 weeks away, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So I created a Facebook event for this meetup, and this is my 3rd time doing the meetup. I love just making it open. In the past couple of years, I've had like 200 RSVPs, and I'm like 150 people have showed up. But now that I have 1,200 RSVPs, I mean, we could get like 600 people there, maybe more. And that is so many people. So many. Let me pull this up right now. It's just crazy. So anyways, anybody, yes, so both of them are open to the public. So the free meetup, anybody can come to. It will be held at the Anaheim Convention Center during the Natural Products Expo, but you do not have to go to the Natural Products Expo to come to the meetup. It's at night. It's March 9th at 6:15. I'll post a link to it, and you can find the Facebook event with 1,200 RSVPs on my Facebook page, Eco Vegan Gal. And then the second paid one, if you want to come to that was designed for networking, and that's also open to the public. So it's currently $25, but if you private message me, I'd be happy to give you guys I think I can do a coupon for for $5 off. It was $20 until last night, and the price just went up. Today, it was like a way to incentivize people to buy earlier. But yeah, if anybody wants, like, I'll do my best to see if I can get you a $5 off coupon for that. But even if you don't get it, I promise I'm going to make it worthwhile, because I'm putting so much work into this event. There are incredible people going to this. It's designed for professional networking, but really anybody can go that wants to network with other vegans, even if you just want to make friends. I just think it's more worth it if it has a business element to it, so that you guys can, you know, get your money's worth. But I promise it's going to be great. Okay, you guys ready for the tally? So here is, if you go on Facebook, it's called the Vegan Meetup at Expo West. Expo West is the trade show. There you go, sort of. It's up to 1,300. I mean, I'm literally going to get a megaphone so that people can hear me there. Like, I'm going to have to get like a soap box. Actually, there's a fountain. I don't even know if I can hold it in the same space. Like, I literally have no idea what's going to happen with this event. I can only guess that it'll be similar to the past 2 years. This is the 3rd year I've done it. But things have changed at the convention center, and there's going to be so many people. Like, I don't know. I'm also going to be preoccupied with my other event, so I have no idea what's going to happen with the meetup. But I'm just like out, like, I can't even believe it. And this, you know, it's another example, you guys, of like, sometimes you just do something. If you're not attached to the results, you never know how it can go. I actually have found the more attached I am to something, the less that I get what I want, which sounds so weird. When I don't want anything and I'm not attached to the outcome of things, that's usually when it works out in a way that's perfect. That happened on my trip to the Central Coast. I had very low expectations for that event. I didn't think it would be a great turnout at the Veg Fest. I didn't think that I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. I didn't think it was going to be as beautiful as it was up there. Like, I had no idea. The people that hosted me at this event were so amazing. And that just blew my mind. So, yeah, it's just sometimes when you have low or no expectations, that's when like really incredible things happen. With this meetup, I expected it to be 200 people again. Like, my goal was like, I don't even know if I had a goal. It was probably around 200 people. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that 1,300 people would RSVP. It's mind-blowing. And 224 people have said that they're going, and over 1,000 have said they're interested. So it could be 200 people. I have no idea, but I think it has the potential to have 500 or 600 people, and no idea how that's all going to work out, but I have to just trust that it's going to be amazing. This is the photo from last year. You can see it in all of its clarity. Oh, there you go. Sort of. So that was like 150 people from last year. And Vaya asked, how many people is it going to fit? I'll show you guys a picture of the space where I'm hoping to have it. It's outside, it's not indoors. My goal next year, though, now that I have all this confidence for events, my goal next year is to have it, let me find this. My goal next year is to have it indoors and get like a massive ballroom at the expo and have an indoor event for hundreds of vegans. So we'll see. Baby steps. Okay, so this is the area. I took this on a panoramic view, but this is where it has been held the past few years. I know it's really blurry. Come on, let's see. There you go. So it's a really big area. That's a panoramic shot, but I mean, hundreds of people can fit there for sure. And there's room around the corner. So we're going to see. We're going to see what happens. I'm going to do my best, and all I can guarantee is that the networking event is going to be the most worthwhile. So I'll link to it you can find the links to the paid event on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and you can just go to my website, whitneylauritsen.com, and that has a link to all the expo related stuff. So, yeah. So, let me do some moderation. There we go. Okay. So that's about it, you guys. If there's anything else that you want to know, have questions about, I actually did a fun video on Facebook last night, Facebook Live. I'm doing like a icebreaker question series, and there were some really good questions that I answered last night and asked other people about, and it was just like a fun exchange. So the Eco Vegan Gal Facebook video is great, meaning that it was really fun and I like doing it, so you can go check that out. And then also while you're there, you can check out the events. And then my Facebook Live, my YouTube Live last night was really fun because I talked about this new vegan bacon. So I've been working for this company, and there are these new vegan bacon chips that are amazing. So if you want to learn more about them, that's on my YouTube. And I guess that's a pretty good summary of, I mean, there were other sweet things that happened today. If you guys want more inspirational stuff, after I went to the Tesla showroom, I was walking back to my car, and I passed by this cafe, and I looked inside, and I was like, that looks like a cool place. Like, maybe I'll go check it out. You guys, there are these new pop-ups across the country, actually, by Capital One. And I happen to be a Capital One card-carrying member. I got a Capital One card last year. And they have these, like, working spaces and cafes. I could not believe this. Okay, if you have a Capital One card like me, you can go in and get 50% off any drink at Peet's Coffee. And Peet's Coffee has tons of vegan options. I don't know, like, if any of it's organic, but they have soy milk, almond, or I know they have almond and coconut milk, and maybe it was either rice or soy. So 3 different non-dairy milks to choose from. They also have coconut milk whipped cream. Not sure if it's vegan, but it did say dairy-free, so maybe. I didn't see them put it on anything. I don't know if they make their own or buy it from somewhere, but that's really cool. And then they have all these different teas that you can choose from, and now they do turmeric lattes and nitrogen coffee. It was very impressive. So not only do they do 50% off anytime, they're open for 12 or 13 hours every day. So I think Monday through Thursday is 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And by the way, there's one in Santa Monica. The one I went to is in Glendale. And then there's going to be one in downtown LA, and there's a bunch throughout the country. Anyway, so so they have those long hours, which I was very impressed by. And then they have 1 hour a day. They do a happy hour where all their drinks are free if you're a Capital One member. I just stumbled in there today and got a really delicious turmeric latte for free. Their turmeric does have honey in it, but you can ask for it to not have honey. So it was nice turmeric ginger espresso. It was so good. And they were so nice there. I was like, what? It was one of those days where all these magical things were happening, and I was just so grateful for it. But what's also cool is that you can work in there. It's open to the public. Anybody can go in. It's just that if you're a Capital One card carrier, you can get the discounts and free stuff. They have money classes. They have meeting rooms that you can use there. I mean, what an amazing way to brand yourself. But it's basically their alternative to a bank. So you know how, like, I've been with Bank of America for a long time, and I've been wanting to switch for a lot of reasons. Speaking of ethics, I would really love to be part of a more ethical bank. But I've had Bank of America my whole life, and they're usually like these huge banks, and there's bank tellers, and there's, you can go in there and get financing for things, all that. They're big. think of that same space, except instead of a bank, there's a cafe, tables, chairs, people there walking around asking you like how they can help and helping you learn about money. Like, I don't know if any of you know the ethics of Capital One. Let me know, because I am ignorant about banking systems. I would like to learn more, and I feel like banks in general are challenging whenever there's corporations and money. But unless I hear something horrible about Capital One that makes me not want to be part of the bank, I actually thought it was brilliant that they're doing that. They're super supportive to nonprofits. You can get meeting rooms for free there if you're a nonprofit or a student. You can have like student meetings there. They said that they have a ton of students. They use it as their study space. You get free Wi-Fi, free or discounted coffee, and then like awesome tables to work at. And I just thought, what a brilliant, brilliant concept. So Vi said, you know the one in Glendale. That's awesome. Yeah, so great. It's I think you still live on the west side, if I remember correctly. So if that's the case, check out the one in Santa Monica. And Food Forest Permaculture, thank you so much for joining. Yeah, so that's it today. I've already been talking for 45 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up. But I just thank you guys for giving me a place to share with you, to share with the lessons, the experiences, the excitements. I feel overjoyed these days, and I'm so grateful for that. I've been working really hard on myself and my business, and things that just feel very in alignment, and it's a great place to be in. So I wish the same for all of you, and I just realize more and more that I think my mission is to help other people find ways to feel fully fulfilled in their lives. And whatever I can do to help you guys reach your goals, career-wise, vegan-wise, eco-friendly-wise, like happiness, all of that's what I want to do. So I truly mean it when I say I want to get to know you, I want to connect with you, I want to support you. You can private message me, you can leave a comment, you can connect with me on other social media platforms. Just let me know. And if you want to be on the deepest level of communication with me, that's what Eco Vegan Pal is for. So if you haven't checked out the Eco Vegan Pal community, please do. I have over 50 members from around the world in there. I'm always looking for more ways to add value to people in there, and I would love for people like you guys to be part of it. And there's also a special section in there where you can watch uncensored videos that I don't release publicly. So if you like videos like this, if you want to learn more about my life and some of the more private things that I don't talk about publicly, there are some videos there for you to watch, and it's like a special secret group within Eco Vegan Pal. So all you have to do is message me and I'll tell you about how to get in there. And yeah, that's it. Thanks again. Sending love to all of you. I hope your lives are feeling fulfilling, and if they're not, just let me know how I can help. I really, as I just said, want to find a way to do that for you. So you guys give a lot to me, and I want to continue giving back to you in every way I can. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to be back on schedule this coming Monday around 5 p.m. So tune in then. Hit the subscribe button so you're notified when that happens. And until then, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Bye, everyone.